the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Wednesday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on Nashville Sports Radio. Hope everybody's having a good hump day.
Yes,
Darren
sir.
and Justin here with you.
Oh, boy.
Strike and Spare Family Fun Center Studio. Adam Johnson is alongside for the ride. Why are you laughing?
Oh, I just look forward to today. Today's going to be a good time.
Oh.
I got a feeling.
Okay.
I got a feeling.
Good.
So I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Please, let's do it.
Well, let's start with the good news. Not that I don't think anybody went to bed sweating. But
sweating to work to try and stop it, which ended up being like trying to stop a boulder from coming downhill. So, yeah, there's some people working, all right, and some people sweating there. But in case you missed it, around 1:30 a.m. last night.
So they went over. You said midnight?
I said around midnight.
It went over.
So what happened was, Darren, the people against it took longer than the 2 hours they were given. And the city council decided to vote to continue to hear them or not. And they decided, let's continue to hear the people who've come all the way down here to tell us something.
Okay.
So let's listen some more, which they did, which pushed it back. Now, if they had stuck to the 2 hours that was scheduled, I think they would have gotten out around the time I predicted. But they didn't. They went over hearing from other people. In the end of it, though, it did not matter. Final score, those for it outscored those against it by a final score of, I believe, 26-12. And the result is we're going to have a brand new dome stadium for your Tennessee Titans coming up here in 2027. They'll break ground next year, and they will be ready to play ball, they think, in 2027. And by the way, for those of you wondering what's going to happen to the current Nissan Stadium, it is going to be dust. It is scheduled to be demolished within 120 days of the opening of the new stadium. They will demolish the current Nissan Stadium. So
after it opens, they've got, 4 months?
120 days.
Okay.
120 is written in the contract that is now signed. So 120 days, and it's over. So there was a lot of passion that poured out last night on both sides, and we'll hear from those whenever we're ready. But Eddie George, the current TSU coach and former Titans legend, came out and spoke in favor.
Of course.
As a matter
I
of
would
fact,
hope that would be weird.
that would be weird.
If TSU's going to play there, that he was a nay.
When they decided to hear from the public, Eddie George, number one on the list. He was the first speaker who spoke last night. So, we'll get to all of it. It's a lot to get to. We'll try to answer any questions anybody has because it's over. They're going to get started, and Nashville's going to get a dome.
$1.26 billion is public funding, which is the largest public subsidy for a stadium in U.S. history.
Yeah, that which is the complaint for those against it and what they had as far as being against the proposal. And a lot of people were asking the question, if we're going to spend $1.2 billion on something, why does it have to be a football stadium for a team that makes $1 billion a year or whatever it is? And that was part of the conversation. That was part of why this dragged on for 6 months. Yeah. This was a 6-month approval process to get here. But they made it, and it's over.
Right. It doesn't really matter at this point. It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
But there's going to be some hurt feelings from those who didn't get their way in this case. I don't think that's going to go away. But then again, I was here when the referendum vote was held
and
to build the original stadium, and there were hurt feelings then.
There were a lot more naysayers back then than there were this go-around.
60-40, or 62-38 to be exact, is what the final vote was, I believe, for the referendum to build the current Nissan Stadium. And you better believe there was a lot of skeptical people. And that deal was bad.
Yeah, it was.
And I feel like, I haven't really said that publicly.
But was it?
It was bad from the sense of the actual deal itself. The actual deal in isolation was not a good one for the city of Nashville. Now, everything that came along with it, which is what Mayor Bredesen's point was at the time, now Governor Bredesen. What he felt like at the time was whatever this piece of paper says, no matter how bad it is, you have to not look at this piece of paper and look at everything else that is going to come with it. And I've spoken to the former mayor turned governor about this. And Darren, this is what he said to me. He says, I expected the kind of growth that we have in 50 years, not 25. He says it doubled my expectations as far as what it would do for the city. I did not see this coming. I thought it would take 50 years to get to where we are, not 25.
Yeah.
That is what the former mayor, former governor said to me.
Look, I get it. We're biased. We're a sports talk show. And so people that are against it will be like, well, you're in favor of sports. So, of course, you're going to well, okay. But, again, you don't have those things. We've talked about other cities that haven't grown. When those things go away, your city isn't growing anymore. It's just not. And, oh, by the way, if you don't have the Titans, if you don't have the Predators, you know what else is not here? There's no soccer team.
Probably not.
No, there is no Nashville SC. No, there isn't. Like MLS has said.
Probably not. No, there is not.
No,
okay, no.
MLS commissioner has said, hey, we saw what happened when their run to the Stanley Cup final. We saw what this city morphed into. We were here. We were a part of it. And we said, hey, our product has got to be in that market. Look how quickly it happened. It happened almost snapping your fingers. MLS was here. Boom. It was like USL, and here we go.
Yeah.
MLS.
It took off.
Right.
But it took off in a lot of markets,
and
though,
I
Darren.
know
it wasn't just Nashville. It took off real fast in Cincinnati and other places here. That doesn't have the energy that Nashville has.
Right. But the MLS made the message loud and clear, like we desperately wanted to be in this market. We know what this market's about. It's hot, hot, hot. Everybody wants to come here. And look, you don't have that you don't have a hockey team. You don't have a run to the Stanley Cup final. You don't have those same feelings. You don't have the commissioner saying those same words. The point is, it all comes together. You don't have Nissan Stadium. Look, Nashville, just what we know. We know what Nashville, right? A lot of people that listen to this show, they know what Nashville was like before all that stuff. And
oh, yeah.
Look,
oh, man.
Going downtown during the week was just unheard of. Like, you're like, you're going downtown on Tuesday. Why?
Most people would not believe.
Are you sure you're doing that?
You would not believe what the city was before Nissan Stadium, before the arena, before all the things that have come. It's a very, very different. It was a different universe.
The convention center happened because of sports.
The new convention center.
The new convention center.
Because we had
That's
a
what
convention center.
I meant the new. The new convention center only happens because I know I was privy to a lot of those meetings. Yeah. And Butch Spearden, who's been on the show many, many times.
Yes, he has.
Look, he's out there. Scott Rams. There's a whole lot of people in this town that were lobbying for this. We need an NHL draft, need the NFL draft, need this, and they all like, yeah, you don't have the space, you don't have the hotels, your convention center's not up to speed. Talk to us when we want the women's Final Four, all this stuff they wanted.
Yeah.
And they were told over and over and over again, your convention center just ain't gonna cut it. Okay. Yeah. But you don't have all those sports, you don't have those conversations, you're not lobbying to get those things. And there's probably not a new convention center either, which, oh, by the way, is a big part of the growth as well.
Oh, without question. The convention center is wildly successful and makes tons of money
for the
city of Nashville. So much money, in fact, that the state and other parties are fighting over slices of the pie of how they can get some of the money that is made by the convention center. That's how much money it makes. So this is going to be the next chapter of that. And everybody's trying to get their seat at the table. It is going to bring a lot of events to town. Some people aren't going to like the events. I'm telling you now, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming to town that maybe some people may agree with or not agree with. It doesn't matter. It's all coming. And it's all going to come under that roof as soon as it's done in 2027.
What do you mean by that? Like, there's people that will not agree with things that are coming to town.
There will be more political type of events coming to town than what we have had previously.
Well, we've had big political events come to town.
Not like this.
Okay.
No, we haven't had.
You're saying the biggest political events.
Yeah, we haven't had the Republican National Convention here.
Okay.
We haven't had the Democratic National Convention here. We haven't had some of the, and I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to call out organizations as if they are, political in nature just off the rip. But there are big, ginormous gatherings, trade shows, things like that. Some people love these types of events. Other people can't believe those idiots gathered over there. It's going to be some of that on both sides, by the way. Both sides are going to that kind of event is going to be down there. That's going to make you say, I can't believe that kind of thing is down there. It's going to happen. That's much more so than what we are currently seeing, because we don't have the venue for those types of events. But whatever is going to, I'll tell you this: do yourself a favor, Nashville. If you really want to know what's coming to the brand new dome, get online. And I've never said this publicly, but this is true. Get online, check out the calendar for the whatever they're calling the dome in Houston these days. It's not Reliant, is it? It's RNC, whatever it is.
In Houston, NRG. Whatever.
Check out the calendar for NRG. Check out the calendar for the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. Check out the calendar for the Superdome down in New Orleans. Look at the calendar. Look at the trade shows. Look at the events. Whatever those cities are getting, Nashville has now entered the rotation. Good or bad, like it or not, whatever it is, all those cities, every single one of them, AT&T Park down at Jerry's World, as we call it, down in Arlington, whatever is on their calendar is now coming to Nashville in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the best advice I can give you.
All right, we'll come back. We'll catch up with Teresa Walker from the Associated Press, and we will do that next here on the McFarland Show.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers. When you're away from home and you want down-home cooking, Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel is the answer. Excellent, fresh, and local, just like Grandma used to make. Start your day with a Music City omelet and some prime rib hash, or a cast iron waffle with Nashville hot chicken. For those wanting variety, hit the biggest breakfast buffet in Music City. And of course, the world-famous Biscuit Bar. Start your day with the fresh, local, and down-home cooking of Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown. The Jim Rome Show.
Man, I love Facebook. That's not in any way a time suck. It is such a valuable use of your time. Going on everybody else's page and posting how beautiful they look when they don't. They don't. You know they don't. Come on. Anyway, do what you want with your time. I don't want you to tell me how to spend my time. I won't tell you how to spend your time, but I will tell you this. Stop cropping out pictures and including yourself and then acting like, hey, my hair looked great that day. My makeup was perfect that day. Just do what I tell you. With regards to this, you'll be fine.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio. You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Darren and Justin here on this Wednesday afternoon. Strikers Bear Family Fun Center Studios. You just heard Big Voice Guy say. Let's bring in Teresa Walker from the Associated Press. I don't know. I was under the impression she was going to be arriving in Kansas City today. Adam tells me that maybe Teresa's close to Memphis. The Grizzlies and Lakers is tonight at FedEx Forum. So let's just ask, Teresa. She would know better than us. Teresa, are you going to Memphis first?
Well, of course. I mean, it's funny. My Facebook memories reminded me that a year ago today I was in Memphis covering basketball with the Grizzlies. So, yes, I am outside of Memphis. I'll be there second row, about mid-court, probably one seat over toward the Lakers side of the court. But, it's NBA time, and I will be driving back tomorrow, and I will be at the Titans for the NFL draft. But, let's be honest, Aaron. If there's something big happening in this state, I got my hands on it, which is why I was up until about 2 this morning, finishing up a story on the Titans getting their last piece of the financing puzzle in place for at least public money to get this new stadium rolling a little bit faster.
Yep. Okay, well, we're going to try to hit as much as we can. So let's stick with the Memphis theme then. And I said this yesterday on the show, and I'll just see where you go with this because you've been covering this team. Teresa, look, we carry the Grizzlies games on this radio station. We have Eric Hasseltine on. I've known Eric for a long time. We're rooting for the Grizzlies. I thought the Grizzlies would win this series. They're not going to win this series. They're done, in my opinion. But the thing that I brought up yesterday that I want to get your opinion on because they also didn't talk afterwards, and they're doing a lot of things I don't agree with, and it's making me not like them and not root for them. And I don't have the same feelings anymore. I don't want to have those feelings, but Dylan Brooks, like you came off like a clown, bro. Like you can't call out LeBron James and then have no effect and have him just clown you for the series, and then not have your start, not have anybody talk. What Ja didn't talk, what Dylan didn't talk. Those guys didn't even talk after the loss on Monday. Again, that's a clown show, man. You're paid professionals. You get paid a lot of money. You're professional athletes. It's part of it. Win or lose, you talk. I'm beginning not to like this team. You tell us, though. You cover them. You're much closer.
Well, let's put it this way. They're showing their immaturity, and Taylor Jenkins talked about that before the game on Monday night, Game 4. This is the second youngest roster in the NBA, okay? A year ago, they didn't have a player on the entire roster over 30 make a bucket for them. And Steven Adams, who is the oldest player on this roster, has been sidelined since the end of January with a knee injury, right? So, they need to, they had Danny Green on this roster, and maybe he could have provided some of that maturity, some advice, veteran presence. But, as a three-team deal, they ended up with Luke Kennard, a guy who led the NBA in three-point shooting. You can't do the things that they do, parade inside my city, which got them in trouble with some folks because of what the rest of that song says. That's been them, and they've talked the talk, and they walk the walk during the regular season. When they got the second straight number 2 seed in the Western Conference. They posted the best home record in the NBA since 2016-17, when Golden State won one more game than the Grizzlies managed with 35 home wins this year. So, this is a put-up time. You've talked the talk, walk the walk. And, Dylan Brooks calling out saying, I want to face the Lakers, and then calling out LeBron as old. Dude, be careful, because when you talk it, you got to walk it. And, the problem right now, LeBron James took control at the end of the game the other night, which was winnable. The Grizzlies had the lead, and they couldn't finish it off. And the last 2-minute report came out. LeBron should have been called for a foul on Jaren Jackson Jr. for a hit across the head. Yes, the Lakers are the Lakers. They're going to get some calls go their way. But the problem isn't so much LeBron or the officials, or Dylan and John not talking. They need to produce. And right now, it's kind of the role players who are outplaying the Grizzlies role players. Luke Kennard, again, a 49.4% shooter, led the league beyond the arc. He has not done that. He had a night late in March 24th where he made 10 of 11 threes. He's kind of been missing in action in this series. Same for some of the other key bench players. Brandon Clark is out with an Achilles. We get that. But, Tyus Jones was, yes, he came, when he had to come into the starting lineup in Game 2, he played well, got them a win, the one win they've gotten this series. Ja had 22 straight points in the fourth quarter of Game 3. Who else showed up? Desmond Bain came through the other night. But, again, where were the other players? So it's like the team that we've seen play well during the regular season, each of these last 2 years, has not shown up in this series. So, if they can win tonight, and they're undefeated in Game 5s in Memphis, so there is hope there. But, they need guys to step up all together. Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja and, that starting lineup, they've got to come out playing the way that they can, and they've got to play that way from the start and, play Grizzlies basketball. And, I think that's why Taylor Jenkins on Monday night said that it was a disappointing loss. It's because, they didn't finish the way that they can. And, again, they didn't have guys step up and do the things that they've shown that they can do. And, and they did it. Anthony Davis was holding a heating pad on his right hip after he went into the stanchion the other night. So, all day is hurting a little bit. And so, can they make them pay for that? LeBron James played 45 minutes in that overtime game on Monday night. They flew in yesterday. No shoot-around for either team today. This is an opportunity now with this series being down to, game travel. If they can force Game 6 on Friday night back in L.A., and Desmond Bain said it, they'd have to come in with the right mentality, but they know that they can go in there and win. They had a late lead. They just couldn't finish off in the final minute there of regulation. Guess what? Then they're coming back for a Game 7 on Sunday in Memphis, and, you've got to like your odds at that point because, again, LeBron is 38. He's the oldest player in NBA history to go 20-20 in the playoffs. Can he keep it up? That's the question. And, the Grizzlies are young. This is where the youth can come into their advantage if they can stop doing some of the things that have been hurting themselves, Darren.
Yeah. Teresa, I was on a sports talk show in Portland, Oregon this morning, and they were very, very intrigued about the Titans draft pick. And I was like, really? I was like, please. I was like, can I ask you guys
Portland,
questions?
Oregon?
Like, what? Really? You guys are really that intrigued by the Titans? And I said, we're intrigued, but you guys are intrigued about the Titans out in Portland. So, yeah, it was a fun conversation this morning. What do you think ultimately? By the way, Will Levis, I was watching the odds. The odds for Will Levis being taken number 1 overall was at plus 5,000. Then it went to plus 2,000. Then it went to plus 1,000. Then it went to plus 550. Will Levis number 1 over. Let me just start there. Do you believe all this Will Levis stuff, or is this just your typical 24, 48-hour window before the draft where all chaos happens?
I don't believe any of it, Darren. Let's put it this way. Put on some tape. And remember a year ago at this time, there was going to be 3 quarterbacks go in the first 15 picks. And yet Malik Willis was the third quarterback taken at 86th overall in the third round. There was only one quarterback in Kenny Pickett who went in that first round a year ago. So, folks, it's talking time. It's lying time. It's, do everything you can to try to disguise your true intentions if you're an NFL team. So nobody is telling the truth right now. And, and when it comes from, national NFL reporters, it's like, ooh, that seems to lend a hint of, but guess what? It's talking season. It ain't drafting season until, Roger Goodell steps to the podium tomorrow night in Kansas City and says Carolina's on the clock. So, and even at that point, they're going to be talking on the NFL Network, ESPN. We're going to be talking in the Titans workroom, trying to figure out, okay, play the ball where it lays. Take C.J. Stroud, okay? I mean, the only problem with him is that his size, and as he's pointed out apparently today in Kansas City, he can't grow. But we saw the production, and we saw him do things that remind me at least of Patrick Mahomes. Find time, finding guys somehow miraculously down the field. Don't overthink this, Carolina. And then we'll see what happens from there.
Have you submitted your pick to Jim Wyatt yet?
I did, and I went with Hendon Hooker.
At 11?
Mercy.
Yes.
Wow.
Why not?
Wow.
Are
Okay.
you seeing some of these other people who are saying that he's the second best quarterback prospect out there?
Yep.
People around, the only reason he's not in conversation for that number one pick is the fact that he's coming off an ACL that he tore in November, okay? The production on the field there. Processing in the country's fastest processing offense that was running plays faster than anybody else 2 straight seasons there.
Mm-hmm.
Low interceptions, high touchdowns, calling and making decisions at the line of scrimmage in a quick hurry, which you have to be able to do at the NFL level. Proven production. What's not to like about Hendon Hooker?
No, I'm not. I did not expect you to say it. So, Justin, we haven't given our pick. I mean, I'm willing to say it. So I locked in mine this morning as well. I thought long and hard, and I ended up going with Paris Johnson Jr. That's who I went with.
Well, here's the thing. Offensive line skill positions are absolutely positions of need for this team, without a doubt, right? But I'll just say this. When you look at the fact that they signed Andre Dillard and Daniel Brunskill in free agency, and you've got a new offensive line, Jason Hightelling has been promoted to that position, and you've got Nicholas Petit-Frere, who was a second-round pick last year out of Ohio State. Guys take the biggest jump between year 1 and 2. So, and guess what? Jason Hightelling may be able to get something out of Dylan Radin that we're still waiting to see, okay? He's certainly gotten a lot more experience since the Titans drafted him than he ever had his last year and a half in college at the FCS level. So, I've come around to talking myself out of offensive line being the top pick because and there's enough wide receivers in this draft that I do think that they can go there with their second pick. And, guys, that's my take on it because, again, remember what Rand Carthon said on Monday? He talked to Ryan Tannehill in February. Ryan is going to be 35. And if you're trying to do, and I'm calling it a NASCAR pit stop reload, you keep Ryan Tannehill around because you give him some help and a better offensive line, then you can get out of his contract next year. Just let him walk into the sunset if you don't extend his deal at all and draft a quarterback and do what the Kansas City Chiefs did when they had Alex Smith, made the playoffs, and then just switched over to Pat Mahomes and traded away Alex Smith to Washington. They don't even have to make a trade. They can just let Ryan Tannehill's contract expire. And, right now they're already projected to have over $100 million in cap space next year. And then you've given your quarterback a year to heal and learn on the job.
Teresa, I can hear you trying to talk me or Darren or yourself or whomever into reasons why the Titans would draft a quarterback at number 1. This is my thinking here.
Are you ready to reveal yours yet?
Listen, that's fine. Yeah, I'll reveal it. My pick was the wide receiver from Ohio State, Njigba.
Okay, so
Smith Njigba.
Teresa said she talked herself out of offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I talked myself out of wide receiver.
Okay.
That's why I didn't go
listen,
with him.
Between the three of us, we have watched a lot of Titans football. We have talked to a lot of coaches. We have talked to a lot of players. We have seen a whole bunch. So we've all sat here and looked at this every which way, and we're all coming up with different answers. And this year is just one of those years where that's going to happen. There is no right answer here, I don't think, at the end of this. I'm just trying my issue with quarterback, Teresa, that I want to ask you is how do you justify picking a quarterback with as many holes as this team has? This team needs a tight end. This team needs help on the defensive side in certain areas. They probably need a defensive end to go now with Jeffrey Simmons, who's solidified in the middle. They could probably use not just one wide receiver, Teresa. They need two. They need two wide receivers. In round one, how do you pick a player that is not going to play day one for this organization?
Well, and Rand Carthon did say that if you're taking a guy in the first round that high, it should be somebody who's able to contribute day one. I'll say this. He also said that he'd rather be picking at the end of the first round. So that also is an indication that they don't want to be tanking this year, right?
Yeah.
So, part of that is getting as many good players as you can. And if you're not going to be picking this high again, guess what? Where do the best starting quarterbacks come? Usually in the first 10, 11 picks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady is the exception, not the rule, okay? So, you're Brock Purdy, guess what? He was amazing last year. Let's see what he does in year two as a seventh-round pick,
Amen to
okay?
that, sister.
So,
yes. Yes.
So that's why now they could easily take a wide receiver. I mean, God, look at that wide receiver room. I could, if they take receiver, I don't have a problem with that either. But quarterback it's tough to get late in the draft. It ends up costing a lot of draft capital if you do end up needing one next year and you have to go back up to get one. It just doesn't feel like this franchise wants to tank a season to try and be picking high next year. So, you may be as high as you're going to be. That makes quarterback, to me, the easiest solution.
All right. Let's speak to the history since we all know it. There's a lot of people listening going, why would they draft a wide receiver? They stink at drafting wide receivers high. They've never done it well. You could say the same for quarterback and a bunch of other positions. Last time we drafted a quarterback in the top 10, it didn't go well, or the top whatever. It hasn't gone well. Now, to me, that's, I understand what people are saying. But, what's the alternative, right? I mean, you're going to stop picking wide receivers in the first round. But, Teresa, I just want you to speak to the PTSD that Titans fans have for drafting wide receivers or quarterbacks or some of these other positions in the first round that never seem to be what we hope they will be. Corey Davis, Jake Locker, we can keep going, Kendall Wright. Speak to the fan base, Teresa, about what in the world what are we supposed to do moving forward here? How can they feel confident?
Two things. Miss Amy Adams-Strunk and Mike Vrabel, okay? This franchise has been competitive with Mike Vrabel in his, seasons as head coach with this franchise, right? They really haven't been out of, competition for the AFC South title or the playoffs in his tenure. They were 3 minutes away from a third straight title, in the regular season finale with a guy they signed right around Christmas time, for God's sake. So for 2 straight years, they used the most players in NFL history over these 2 years, because of injuries, and he still had them competitive. Amy Adams-Strunk, once she took over this franchise, she sat back, watched Ken Wisenhunt, and when she'd had enough of seeing Marcus Mariota, the number 2 pick overall in 2015, getting abused because Ken Wisenhunt wouldn't make some adjustments to protect the quarterback, she fired him and promoted Mike Mularkey. So she is unafraid. She fired John Robinson, the first GM she hired. So, she's not afraid to make the moves that are necessary to get who she needs in position. And she also isn't afraid to make moves at coach. And Mike Vrabel has shown that he will do what he needs to do. And, yes, I understand the PTSD. Guys, poor Marcus Mariota, he had a changing carousel at offensive coordinator during his tenure here. So, trust in Amy, trust in Mike Vrabel. They've earned that over these last 4 or 5 years.
All right, Teresa, last one here for me. The Titans, as you know, in the city of Nashville came to an agreement last night with the vote to build a brand new dome stadium in downtown Nashville. Teresa, you travel, you've been around the league and been around the country. How far behind are the Titans at this point operating in Nissan Stadium?
Well, let's just put it this way. Considering, remember that we had a game delay. Now, granted, people across Nashville on Christmas Day, that weekend, we were all dealing with busted pipes somewhere. I had damage to my master bath because it froze and backed up in places. Yes, had to do a lot of damage, and I'm still ticked at my insurance company. Part of that was busted pipes. Okay, it's an outdoor stadium. It was built on the cheap. Bud Adams wanted luxury boxes. Nashville gave him luxury boxes. But if you walk around that place, were you at the Garth Brooks concert a couple years ago, and you were taking cover in areas and water was still pouring into places that it shouldn't? Okay, you've seen the condition that stadium is in. There's a reason why an independent firm came in and said, you know what? Yeah, the Titans' estimate's right. It would cost about $1.8 billion to $1.9 billion to try to renovate this place. That's why they ended up saying, you know what? Let's build a new one. For years, the talk I'd been hearing was Hard Rock Stadium retrofit renovation. Let's do that. Mm-hmm. It didn't work out. So now that's why they needed the new building. In a perfect world, contract would be what the Predators did, where they signed a long-term extension where they're going to be doing renovations and upkeep and sticking with the same arena at Bridgestone. For a few years, I heard people saying, well, they're going to have to build a new one. No, because they're taking care of what they have. It's tougher to take care of an outdoor facility that was not built great, and it was prefab concrete, and trying to retrofit that, it's expensive. So that's why they went the way they did. I understand there's a lot of people in Nashville not happy with it, but guys, study the original lease. I had a copy of it, and that put the cost of maintenance on Nashville taxpayers. This new deal, the new lease, is going to get them out from under that, and the Titans are going to be responsible for the overages for construction costs on the new building, and they're the ones who are going to be taking and maintaining the new building. And so, I understand the arguments for and against, but the fact of the matter is Nissan Stadium has been rode hard and put up wet.
Indeed it has. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll see if the Grizzlies can keep the series alive, Teresa. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, ma'am.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Teresa Walker, Associated Press. Grizzlies and Lakers heard right here on these airwaves. Coverage starting at 6 o'clock this evening. Of course, the NFL Draft tomorrow night, first round. We're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600 is our phone line and our text line. More of the McFarland Show next.
Legacy Concrete is on the air saluting the brave men and women of our U.S. military. Their tireless efforts each and every day shall never go unnoticed. This message is brought to you by Legacy Concrete, covering up to a 50-mile radius of Middle Tennessee with quality service and pride. For residential or commercial concrete projects and foundation repair, call today and ask about their military and first responders discount. 615-661-8373. That's 615-661-8373. Legacy Concrete. They're professionals who care.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
Breaking news. Tax refund shock is everywhere. But what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too.
The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
The battle for a sixth straight division crown starts right now, and the East already knows. Don't sleep on the Atlanta Braves.
Next pitch to Riley. Swung on, hammered to deep center. He's at the track, he's at the wall. Home run!
Catch the 2023 Atlanta Braves right here on Nashville's home for Braves baseball. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. Today is going to be partly sunny with a stray shower, the high 72. Scattered showers tonight, mostly cloudy, low 50. Thursday, cloud showers and in spots a thunderstorm, high 70. Utilizing the resources of the Mother-Bug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Thank you, Big Boy Sky. We'll head to Indianapolis at 3:15. We'll learn, or try to learn, what the Colts are thinking with their pick. And boy, Indy is always a wild card. As long as you've got that owner, last name Irsay, you never know what you're going to get. We had Chris Domino on the show yesterday down in Atlanta, and he said Bijan Robinson at number 8 to the Falcons.
Yes.
I was like, wow.
He was also ready to put the Hawks out of their misery.
He was.
Trey Young had different ideas.
Well, Smart wasn't very smart last night. That wasn't a very smart play. But yes, you're right. He did.
Cold-blooded
Man,
shot, man.
I mean, he had the nails out, the hammer. He was ready to go on the seal up that coffin for the Hawks. I was like, wow. 615-844-5600. Let's go to Kenny, the mailman. Kenny, what's up?
Greetings, good friends. How are y'all?
Good.
Excellent. Y'all were on the air just then. Y'all weren't able to watch the Ford Motor Company press conference, were you?
No, sir.
The Ford Motor press conference. Nope. Didn't see it.
It's amazing. It's the innovations that our country can come up with. They have actually come up with a prototype vehicle that's going to be run on hot air from ESPN Draft Gurus.
Oh, yeah, well.
You talk about miles to the gallon.
Yeah, that'll be yeah, that'll be a lot.
So
a lot of miles
line up, people. They're on their way.
The Kuiper special.
Yeah. Well, listen. Oh, that's the oil, not the gas. Oh, anyway.
Nice, Kenny.
I
Nice.
meant that the good way.
Nice, sir.
Justin, this call is for you, my good friend. I know
Let's go,
all
sir.
about Darren,
Okay.
but I'd like to hear what schools, where did you go to school? What schools do you pull for? And who does Justin jump up and down for and you'd love to see pull a win? I'm going to hang up and I'll be listening. Okay?
I'm honored. Kenny, the mailman, first of all, the Sports Talk Nashville legend would ask me such a question. So, you know, and this is what's going to surprise a lot of people and disappoint a lot of people. I'm going to name the places I've went to school, and lots of you have never heard of them because they were very small schools, just to be honest with you. I went to Madison Academy here in Nashville, which is a very small Seventh-day Adventist academy up off of Neely's Bend. We did not have sports teams, so no, you haven't played us. We don't have sports teams there. We had a very nice gymnastics program. that went and did shows across but we didn't have any sports teams. So no, we played them. No, you didn't. Probably not. After that, I went down to Oakwood College, now Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama. I think they've just started, something more competitive in one of the lower tier schools down there. But that is where I went to college. We don't have a football team. No, so we played Oakwood. No, I promise you didn't, because they don't have football teams there. But it is a very small HBCU, historically black college and university down there in Huntsville, Alabama, is where I went to college. So as far as who I cheer for, I'm a Cubs fan without question. And I laughed like a loon when they won the World Series in 2016 at Darren's expense, and I'm sorry.
You're not. You don't mean that. Don't say it. You don't mean that.
Yeah, well,
you don't.
I feel bad at least. Maybe I'm not sorry. I do feel bad. I did feel bad for the Cleveland fans, but somebody had to suffer that night, and we all suffered enough.
Well, somebody was going to end a long streak.
Yeah, somebody was going to continue to suffer, and someone was going to be elated, and it was just our turn. That's all it was. That's in Cleveland will get theirs. I grew up in suburban Chicago a little while, so I was a Bulls fan and things like that as well. So that's kind of where I am. As far as college teams, to be honest with you, I don't have a college team in the fight. I just don't. I went to a very small school. We didn't have teams. I moved here to Nashville. When I moved here, you know what shocked me as an 11-year-old? And let me rewind the clock and we move on. I moved here in 1991 from Chicago, Illinois. And when I got here, the other kids in school, what do you guys talk about? Because there's no Titans. There's no Oilers. None of that is here in 1991. So what is everybody into? Well, the Tennessee Volunteers. Oh, where do they play? I'm 11. Please keep it. I'm 11. Where do they play? In Knoxville. Okay, where's Knoxville?
3 hours that way.
What? Okay, so let me get this straight. Everybody's wearing orange. Everybody's wearing jerseys for a team that's not even in town. This makes no sense to me at all. Don't we already have a team? I saw a big stadium. Who's that? Oh, that's Vanderbilt. Nobody talks about them. Oh, okay. So it was, my introduction was a little different, which is why I never really got into the Volunteers during my childhood. My football and my sports foundation was already set when we moved here.
Yeah.
So.
All right, there you go.
Enough about me.
Justin, this is his life. Kenny, thank you for the phone call, as always.
Thanks for derailing us, Kenny. We appreciate it.
He did not derail. He did not derail at all. I was listening just as intently as everybody else listening. Honestly, I learned stuff. I didn't know some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I haven't talked about some of that, so that's
no. 615-844-5600. Let's go from Kenny, the mailman, to Doug. Or is it the Doug? Doug, what's up?
Just plain Doug. No emphasis, no fanfare. I don't even have a theme song, so I'm just.
We can get you one, Doug. that could be arranged.
There's probably not a song that can fully describe me, nor will I fulfill the song's billing. So
fair enough, sir.
This morning's crew gave kudos to those that wanted to know. To stay tuned to Justin this evening for the breakdown of the Titan vote, and I'm going to say you did a 5-star performance.
Well, thank you, sir.
Just to stay in the middle, I'm pretty sure that, and again, I'm familiar with Shelby Avenue. That was an area that I knew a lot about.
Yes, sir.
It's not the same as when I was a kid.
No,
sir. I ride my bike at the Steiner Lift, which is now something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed. The whole landscape of Nashville has changed. Your comment saying that the mayor said that he didn't think it would be 20 years, he thought it would be 50. It's changed. Again, to stay in the middle, I'm pretty sure that those 13 colonies that was founded back in the East Coast, they've changed.
Yes,
so
sir.
Everything changes. And I'm not saying that you have to like it or love it, but it changes. And for those that don't agree with the football stadium, there may be a, one of those big truck deals where you run over cars and stuff. That'll be there. A concert will be there. A Final Four will be there. If you enjoy a concert of Christian music, that can be there. A lot of things will be there that may fall under the umbrella that you may enjoy. You may not enjoy football, but there is a venue of something where you can go in December and enjoy it.
Yeah. And you know what else will happen, Doug, with those concerts that you named? they'll happen no matter what the weather is doing. It'll happen.
And I remember the working crews of the original stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Those that complain about not having employment, man, big money was made during that time and era.
Yes,
You
sir.
could come in and work, and people made money, which is love makes the world go round, but money greases the wheel. It looks like we get that stadium. It's gonna be some wheels greased.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Doug, as always. Appreciate it. Let's step away. Final time. We'll come back, get more phone calls. Michael, you'll be first up on the other side as you listen to the McFarland Show, WNSR.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? Look for the signs. Chances are they live in a home and have a car. They use money and enjoy having more of it. They probably drink lots of lemonade. Lemonade. And they've probably said something suspicious like, "I'm bundling with Geico," or "Stop spying on me with those binoculars." If so, you may want to ask them how easy it was to bundle with Geico. Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Sports fans, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights at 6 and hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby and Darren McFarland.
Hey, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights from 6 until 7 o'clock as we highlight high-level trainers, coaches, and players in and around Middle Tennessee. Give us a call at 615-844-5600. We live video stream all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
And hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby.
And hear me, Darren McFarland, live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Over 50 years of Nashville sports coverage. The McFarland Show.
And
wow, you guys are old.
No, we're young, man. We're young. We're young, bro. I've got a story I'm going to tell on Youth Connect. You just heard that promo. We'll do that to begin the second hour. Let's go back to the phones. Cool. Michael is up next. Michael, what's up?
What's going on, fellas? Just a quick observation, I guess. So you referenced, or one of you guys saw, I just happened to turn on the radio when I heard it, you guys referenced that, you moved to Nashville and you just couldn't get over the fact that, you saw a bunch of orange jerseys and how it was completely foreign to you seeing, college teams' jerseys from a team that's 300 miles away. But you lived in Chicago, and it's not like you see a bunch of Northwestern jerseys walking around there. No, you see a bunch of Notre Dame jerseys from a team that's 300 miles away. So, again, couldn't have been that foreign to you. Just wanted to point that out. Anchor down. Go Doors.
All right. I wanted to hear was it that his daughter probably?
It sounds like his daughter had a few things
I think
to
she
say.
wanted to get on the air. I think she had something to say.
I understand. And I understand the gentleman's point there, Mr. Michael. And yes, Mr. Michael, we did see some Northwestern or Notre Dame jerseys there from South Bend there in Chicago.
Is that the college of choice, you think?
Okay.
In Chicago?
So Chicago is interesting because it gets a very cosmopolitan amount of schools.
Because Illinois is in Champaign. How far is that?
That's 2 hours south of Chicago, or roughly maybe a little bit more than that.
Northwestern's in the city.
Northwestern's in the city. Notre Dame is.
How far is South Bend?
I'm going to struggle with that. It's been a little while. It's maybe 2 hours, maybe outside. Then you got Michigan folks. They're close by, and they come and work in the city. So you get a lot of it's Big Ten country. What is it? What is it in Chicago? It's Big Ten country. It's the folks from Madison, Wisconsin, which is 90 minutes to the north, who also have an influence there in town. It's Iowa folks who come over. It's a bunch of people. Chicago really is the capital of Big Ten country. It really is. But I understand what the gentleman's saying. But what we did see in Chicago more than anything else is not college teams. We didn't. We saw pro teams. Chicago, Illinois is a pro city.
Yeah.
It's the Cubs. It's the Bears. That's what Chicago is.
Yeah.
So.
That was my experience in Cleveland, living in Cleveland, Ohio for just a little bit. They love Ohio State. That's obviously the big school there.
Yeah.
But they're a pro team.
It's a pro town.
It's not a college
It's
town.
the Browns. In Cleveland.
I know Cleveland State had a couple big wins in the NCAA tournament, but they weren't going crazy in Cleveland. Okay, just saying. All right, that's going to do it for hour number one. Michael, don't be a stranger to the show. Okay, appreciate you calling in.
You and your lovely daughter there.
We're going to go to Indianapolis at 3:15, learn about the Colts and their pick. But we'll come back. Hour number two of the McFarland Show next here on Nashville Sports Radio.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Morgan Norwood. President Biden, following bilateral talks with South Korea's president, says both countries are pledging to build on their alliance by preparing for current and future challenges, including economic and nuclear threats by North Korea.
Our mutual defense treaty is ironclad.
President Biden, who launched his re-election bid this week, was also asked by ABC's Mary Bruce to comment on recent polls showing the majority of Americans don't think the 80-year-old should run for a second term.
The only thing I can say is that one of the things that people are going to find out is they're going to see a race, and they're going to judge whether or not I have it or don't have it.
Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson announced his candidacy for the 2024 presidential race. He's up against former President Trump for the GOP nomination. It's day 2 of the defamation and battery assault trial against the former president. Author E. Jean Carroll accuses Trump of sexually assaulting her in the 1990s. This is ABC News.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Hey, I'm Andy.
If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code FOOTBALL at checkout. That's harrys.com, code FOOTBALL. Enjoy.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty there.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour McFarland Show here on this Wednesday afternoon. Darren and Justin here with you. You can watch us every day. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll head to Indy in about 10 minutes or so. Find out about the Colts. That was pretty interesting. I was listening to a clip from C.J. Stroud. Now, I read the odds. Will Levis, for whatever reason, is now becoming that riser. Nothing has happened. And this is what happens 24, 48 hours
told you.
From the draft. All of a sudden, someone either rises or they fall, right? Yep. They either climb the hill or they plummet.
Yeah.
Well, Will Levis went from plus 5,000 to be the number one pick overall to plus 2,000 to plus 1,000 to now plus 550. And I'm like, what? In the last 24 hours. It's like, what? What could he have done?
Did he play and beat Alabama?
Nothing.
Last night?
Answer, nothing.
No?
No. He didn't have a 400-yard game against Alabama.
He didn't do that?
Last night. No, that didn't happen. And to win. No. It didn't happen. So, C.J. Stroud is another one. And I saw this on Twitter. It was a guy that covers the Carolina Panthers for the Charlotte Observer. And he posted this video. And I'm not sure... And I can go find out, but I don't know where this was. Was this his pro? No, I don't know. This was out today.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is in Kansas City. Whatever. We can figure that out. But this is the clip that I saw this morning on Twitter from a guy who covers the Carolina Panthers, because obviously there's real interest there. Nobody really knows. I mean, I will say that there hasn't been anybody that's come out and said, "Hey, we all know the Carolina Panthers are taking Young, and let's just move on." Like, people suspect that, but have you heard anything that makes you think, I mean, would you lock it in and say, yeah, okay, we know that's done. Moving on to number 2. Like, no. Like, we don't know that for sure. People suspect they're taking Young, but we don't know that. Usually we know, like, who's going to take. Most years it's like, yeah, well, we know that he's going 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Now, so-and-so's on the clock. But here's what C.J. Stroud had to say about the S2 test.
I'm not a test taker, so I play football for me. But at the end of the day, man, I don't got nothing to prove to nobody, so I'm not going to sit here and explain how I process football. The people who are making the picks know what I can do. So that's all that matters to me. There's a whole bunch of people who know how to coach better, play quarterback better, know how to do everything on social media, but a man in the arena, that's what's tough, is stepping in the arena 10 toes. So, and I'm going to stand on that. And I know what I can do. I know I can process well. I know if I'm not the smartest quarterback in this draft, I know I'm one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL when I step in there tomorrow. So I have that confidence in myself, and I don't think you can play at Ohio State and not be smart. So I don't got nothing to prove to nobody, man. At the end of the day, if you don't trust and believe in me, all I can tell you is watch this.
Okay, so that was Scott Fowler who tweeted that or posted that video from the Charlotte Observer. That was today. I was reading the article. It was today.
Okay.
And so he was asked about the S2 test. And isn't it interesting, Justin, both of us, all we've known forever, as long as I can remember, is the Wonderlic, right?
Yeah,
it's like we always have had fun this time of year with the Wonderlic.
Yep.
I've even, answered questions, and I've looked at it, and there's been sampled Wonderlic tests out there. It's always been Wonderlic.
I was going to say, I've never actually seen one.
I have.
You've seen one.
Yeah,
okay.
I have. But there hasn't been a thing said this year about Wonderlic. It's now about S2 testing. Now, S2 testing is not anything brand new. It's not brand new. It's been out there.
It's sort of like the ACT versus the SAT. Is it that kind of thing?
I don't. It's a really good
where the two are comparable.
Let me just say this: the next time we have Tim Corbin on, maybe we'll get him on next week. We'll try to get him on next week.
Okay.
They do S2 testing.
Okay.
Vanderbilt baseball. Titans use it.
Okay.
Not everybody in the league uses it.
Yeah.
In the NFL,
I
think it's like half the league.
When you're in high school and you apply for college, most people take,
the ACT.
The ACT.
I took the ACT.
But some people take the SAT.
Yeah.
And, you take the scores, and the scores are different or whatever. It's whatever. I'm just saying that I wonder if they're parallel in that way or if there are vast differences between the two.
Somehow, and it was Bob McGinn, who's covered the Packers for a long time, who put all this stuff out there. That was the leak because this stuff is usually kept under wraps, and usually it doesn't get Wonderlic scores, as we know over the years. They have been leaked many, many times, and I know we don't have the time to get because people have strong opinions one way or the other, and we just don't have time to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
but I do want us to discuss, and I'll start with you, just your thoughts of what we just heard from C.J. Stroud, because I'll give you my initial thoughts after you weigh in. I'll tell you what I thought the first time I listened to this.
Obviously, he's a little defensive because according to several reports, he didn't do well on the test.
Right.
So, when you don't do well on the test and your entire life is right in front of you here in less than 24 hours, and here comes this major hit out against you, you're going to get defensive. I think it's human nature, honestly, for almost anybody, whether you're 18, 19, or 20 years old, or whether you're 55 or 65, if you've got a major opportunity in front of you and somebody knocks you, it would seem like, you would get defensive about it. And so C.J. Stroud did not do well, according to the reports, on this particular test. And when asked about it, he got a little defensive. And I don't think in and of itself there's anything necessarily wrong with that, of what he's saying. He's saying, listen, when the lights come on and the ball is snapped, I'm a gamer and I'll be ready to go and I'm confident in myself. I think it's, given the circumstance, it's an understandable answer from him.
I want to hear it one more time and then I'm going to weigh in.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I'm not a test taker, so I play football for me. But at the end of the day, man, I don't got nothing to prove to nobody, so I'm not going to sit here and explain how I process football. The people who are making the picks know what I can do, so that's all that matters to me. There's a whole bunch of people who know how to coach better, know how to play quarterback better, know how to do everything on social media, but a man in the arena, that's what's tough, is stepping in the arena 10 toes. So, and I'm going to stand on that. And I know what I can do. I know I can process well. I know if I'm not the smartest quarterback in this draft, I know I'm one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL when I step in there tomorrow. So I have that confidence in myself, and I don't think you can play at Ohio State and not be smart. So I don't got nothing to prove to nobody, man. At the end of the day, if you don't trust and believe in me, all I can tell you is watch this.
So here are my initial thoughts when I heard this. One, I cringed because obviously if you're representing C.J. Stroud, you would not want him doing that the day before the draft. You would not want him saying that stuff. Okay. Or that's me. I wouldn't. If I was representing C.J. Stroud, I would have been running over there and be like, oh, hold on, I got to take him away for a second. He's got to take this phone call. He'll be right back, guys. I would just interrupt the interview and take him away because it's like, no, don't go there. The other part is he is defensive. I get that. And to me, some of the things he said, I'm not a test taker. It's like, well, okay, everybody has got their different opinions on Wonderlic, S2, but look, right or wrong, fair or unfair, we do gauge that stuff. Or at least these teams, there's a reason they pay a lot of money to do this stuff. They pay money for this stuff. Like S2 testing, this is a company.
Yeah.
They're hired out by NFL teams.
Sure.
They pay a lot of money for these results and these tests. So, well, you can say you're not a test, but there's a reason why this team or certain organizations are paying a lot of money to get these results. It must mean something to them, okay? And the other part is I don't have to prove anything to anybody. It's like, don't go there, CJ. Like, don't go. And why is this stuff? Yes, this is what happens. Everybody gets picked apart. This is why we've talked about the whole Lamar Jackson thing. It's not smart. Nobody wants to hear themselves getting picked apart, okay? Nobody. Me, you, nobody.
Sure.
Adam, nobody loves to sit there like, yeah, just criticize me. I can't wait. Tell me more. Tell me some more deficiencies that I have. I can't wait to hear them. I need to hear some more. Nobody does that, right?
No.
Nobody wants to hear that stuff. So this is what happens to everybody that's up at the top, because the higher up the flagpole, the harder the wind blows. This is how it works.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you are looking for somebody to be your franchise quarterback, I'm a little bit nervous hearing that. I'm just going to be honest.
Okay.
Because if you're that defensive and you're already putting people on social media on blast over this, and you're already saying stuff like this, hey, that stuff, that test and all social media and stuff that's being circulated right now is not even close to being as hard as what you're about to sign up for.
Yeah, potentially.
Life in the NFL as a franchise quarterback.
So, Darren, what is the correct answer to that question when you scored an 18 on this S2 test? And I don't even know what the high is, but if you score an 8, if you did bad,
I think Hendon Hooker had the best score. I think that's right.
I don't know what the range is for good or bad on the S2 test.
I think it's up to 50, I think.
Okay, I've read that he had an 18 here.
Yeah, he had an 8, yes.
Okay,
yes.
So if you've bombed the test, you stink. It didn't go well. What is the correct answer when a reporter rolls up to you from the city that you could potentially be drafted to, by the way, Charlotte, North Carolina? Somebody rolls up to you. They know you scored an 18. You know you scored an 18, and it's the day before the draft. What is the correct answer to that question about how you feel about the test?
What would you say?
What would well, from this perspective, from here talking, I would say, I didn't do my very best on that test. I did not. I admit that. Obviously, there's some improvement that needs to be made there. I can promise that I'm going to work incredibly hard for whoever drafts me, and it's. Playing football is more than just, whatever whatever that test showed. Obviously, there's an on-the-field component that is a big part of it, and I think I've done very well with that. And I think I, obviously have room for improvement, and that's what this whole process is about. It's about getting better.
Okay. So
Bryce Young was number one.
Bryce was one?
Yeah, 98 percentile. Hendon Hooker was 46 percentile.
Then who was after Bryce Young?
Look up
there's a bunch.
The range.
Okay. I think Levis did really well.
Will Levis had a 93%.
Yeah.
Jaron Hall had 93%. Clayton Tune had 84%. Anthony Richardson had 79%.
Okay. So Hooker actually wasn't as good as I thought. But by the way, if I'm representing you, I'm patting you on the back the whole time while you're saying that. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, but
I'm not patting him. I'm cringing.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh gosh,
I'm 40-something. Not
right. I understand. I get it. Okay, we got to take a break. Okay. We got to go to Indianapolis. We're going to find out about the Colts, and we'll do that next.
And now, Commercial Roofing Rana is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Their tireless efforts should never go unnoticed. This message is brought to you by Commercial Roofing Rana. For the best roofing contractor in Tennessee, call Commercial Roofing Rana today at 615-289-6012. That's 615-289-6012. Or online at commercialroofingrana.com. They're professionals who care.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
Or it may be even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit givewestwood.org. Givewestwood.org.
Fun is in full bloom, Tennessee, and the Multiplier Instant Games are buzzing in. These colorful tickets offer chances to multiply your wins 10, 20, 50, and even 100 times. It's a beautiful day for bigger and bigger prizes, and they're ripe for the picking right now. Find the Multiplier Instant Games today at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Tennessee's natural sounds come alive in the spring. There's the bark of the red fox, the growl of the American black bear, the hoot of the great horned owl. And what's this?
All right!
Oh my, it's the howling of a Tennessee lottery player who's just won big.
Heed the call to top prizes of up to $500,000 when you play the all-new Instant Games this spring. Find them at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer today. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Timeout. All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the TSSAA and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Time now for the WNSR Braves broadcast schedule update. Brought to you by Klein Preston Law Group.
Wednesday, April 26th, WNSR will air the Lakers versus Memphis Grizzlies elimination playoff game. WNSR will resume its coverage of the Atlanta Braves on Thursday, April 27th. Pre-game, 11:05 a.m., directly after the Greg Pogue and John Burton show.
This has been the Braves broadcast schedule update. Brought to you by Klein Preston Law Group. Online at kleinprestonlaw.com. On WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Rolling along on this Wednesday afternoon, Strike and Spare Family Fun Center Studios, where you can find us. You can also watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Let's keep it within the division. Let's head up to our friends to the north. Let's head up to Indy. Kevin Bowen is on the line with us. 107.5 The Fan up there. The Colts currently have the 4th pick. Kevin, thanks for joining us. We were playing the C.J. Stroud video that's been circulating today about the S2 scoring, and I guess he scored low. He was a little defensive on that. I don't know if you've seen it or not. If you have, what did you make of what's been out there all day that a lot of people have been trying to dissect?
Yeah, I got no issue with the audio. I'd be pretty defensive as well if I were him. And I think he's just kind of acting, like C.J. Stroud, typically does. I don't say that in a negative way. Listening to him at the combine, he's a pretty confident individual. It's hard to say exactly, how that S2 translates to the field. When you watched him, I never thought we were watching a guy that, had issues, processing things or, in kind of sudden instances struggled to make quick decisions. Granted, he was dealing with probably a big talent discrepancy in Ohio State's favor week in and week out. I could also watch 60 Minutes against Georgia and be pretty darn impressed by it. So I think there's got to be a lot more there context-wise. Obviously, these teams have had access to getting him in film rooms and getting a little bit more one-on-one settings with all of that. So I don't think it's the end-all, be-all. And if you go way back, Dan Marino was very poor in the Wonderlic. I think Jalen Hurts, didn't have a great score. And obviously those two quarterbacks in much different eras turned out to be pretty good. So Again, to me, it's not the end-all, be-all, but I do think there's some context you probably need to look into.
We're sitting here with a brand new general manager. We don't have any idea what's going to happen at 11, or if the Titans are going to move up, or they're going to move down, or if they're going to stand pat, and really what Rand Carthon is going to do. What's been the talk in your market? What's been the talk with your team sitting there with the 4th pick?
Yeah, quarterback or riot. It's probably where we're at right now. Maybe potentially a burn down of Lucas Oil Stadium if they don't go quarterback tomorrow night around 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's just, it's been such a revolving door here. The Band-Aid approach has not worked. You go 4-12-1 for a reason, and that reason is when you don't have a quarterback, you make that quarterback selection. And Shane Steichen's background is pretty darn impressive from a quarterback standpoint, so why not give him something to work with and get this franchise going down the path that I think you have to go down. I know for you guys, it's been the exception to the rule, and you can argue how big of an exception it's been with Ryan Tannehill. But, if you look at the AFC, last season I think told you the exact story of where this conference is at and where it's heading. Mm-hmm. And all 7 teams that made the playoffs last year, all 7 of them had drafted their quarterbacks, all 7 of them under the age of 27. So if you're trying to achieve any sort of long-term success, to me, you've got to draft that quarterback, build on the rookie contract, and then hopefully you've got something in place to make a run in the 5 to 7, maybe even longer sort of year span. So that's how I look at things for the Colts. Obviously, they've got some dominoes ahead of them that'll be curious to keep an eye on. But in no way, shape, or form can you come out of tomorrow night without taking a quarterback.
I know people are trying to, again, C.J. Stroud is the one that people are trying to, pick up. I still believe when it's all said and done, kind of I think what you were probably alluding to, that they're going, Young and Stroud are gone before 4. I can't imagine that they fall, but maybe they do. But let's just go, for the sake of this conversation, those 2 are gone by the Colts pick. So you said quarterback or riot. So that leaves either Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. Will Levis has been the sexy pick when it comes to betting. We've got legalized betting now in the state of Tennessee. He's gone from a plus 5,000 to a plus 2,000 to a plus 1,000 to plus 550. I mean, his odds just keep getting small. He's a riser. He hadn't done a damn thing, but he's yet somehow a riser 24 hours before we get to the draft. Where do you think, if it's quarterback, I mean, who do you think they favor more, Richardson or Levis?
Yeah, obviously it's a question we've debated a whole lot. I'll answer it first with a question, and I think the question you have to ask yourself internally, no matter what team you are, is, all right, they all have flaws. What flaws do we feel like we can actually correct, and what flaws do we feel like are really difficult to correct, or maybe uncorrectable, if you will? So, for Levis, it's processing seems to be the biggest question. For Richardson, it's accuracy. I've heard both names with the Colts. I would say the Colts are extremely tight-lipped. Probably the Levis chatter was a little bit more pre-Shane Steichen. I'd say, if anything, it's been a tad more Richardson lately. But, again, nothing for me to act like, go bet your mortgage on one of those 2 being there. When you look at Richardson, he has a dominant trait. You can probably make the argument Levis doesn't have that dominant trait. Therefore, that gives Richardson a pretty high floor. Now, the experience question, how long can he sustain that running trait? I know he's not built like Lamar Jackson, but, from a durability standpoint, that obviously is pretty hard to sustain into your 30s. For Levis, he comes from that NFL, systems. I think he dealt with the adversity of transferring, pretty well by all accounts. I would think that would be attractive. Obviously, he's a guy that his junior year film, a lot of people think a little bit of Matthew Stafford out of it, and then his own injuries and just, lack of personnel around him, hindered him big time senior year. So, what I have said here in this market over the past few months is where I think Colts fans should have the strongest conviction is with the guy that is their head coach. I mean, Shane Steichen's background is different shapes and styles of quarterbacks. Justin Herbert was not supposed to start that rookie season. Boom, they make a wild medical shot in the wrong place for Tyrod Taylor. Boom, Justin Herbert's in there, and he sets a rookie record for touchdowns. And then with Jalen Hurts, you look at how Hurts played in limited action as a rookie, how he grew in year 1 with Steichen, and then how he grew last year. That's got to make you really excited if you're a Colts fan. So I would love to come on and say that I have, again, strong internal conviction one way or the other. I have heard both things. I'm not just going to lie to you. If you made me pick, maybe a slight edge to Richardson. But I think Shane Steichen's resume says if he has identified someone he likes, you let him make that decision, more so than Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay, and you try and tap into that.
Well, don't worry, Kevin. If you had either one of us on your show, it should be sponsored by Eggo because we would be waffling back and forth. We don't have a clue either, so it's all good. So you just brought up Steichen. What has he been like? I know it's still very, very early. Of course, he came over from the Eagles, the OC. What has he been like to deal with to this point? What are your impressions, early impressions?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a bit cliche, but the dude is all ball. We had him on during the combine. I think we got one laugh out of him, and we almost built a statue outside of the convention center for getting that one laugh out of him. And he's, I've listened to a lot of Mike Vrabel press conferences, interviews. I know Vrabel's not just, cackling to cackle, but Vrabel certainly shows a little bit more personality in some of those settings than Shane. I mean, Shane is just, you're even talking to Jelani Woods, their young tight end today, just his detail and how football-centric he is. It's that 24/7, 365. So this is a guy that I think when you look at what Philadelphia did and giving him the play-calling reins kind of midway through Nick Sirianni's first year, that would probably be the biggest question of, okay, can you balance it all? Sirianni's a guy that realized that he couldn't balance it all, and so they decided to make a change in that world of head coach and play caller. I think that is a fair question to be asked. And if you look at this offense, as big as quarterback is, I mean, you still have questions at left tackle in your offensive line, which used to be a strength. And then wide out. You got some young guys that you like, but you certainly need to support your quarterback. I think so many times we fall into this trap of you just take your quarterback and kick the feet up. I mean, if you look at, in our market, again, the drafts of Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, both drafted Manning in 98, generational quarterback. They come back and they take a wide out, and offensive lineman the next 3 picks. You look at Luck in 2012, they come back and take a tight end, a wide out, then a running back, then a wide out, all in the same draft. So with 2 generational quarterbacks, they went there with, Bill Polian and Ryan Grigson. So I think it's paramount that obviously you make the correct choice of quarterback, but you got to make sure that you support him to the nth degree.
How big of a wild card is the owner of the Indianapolis Colts in this entire decision? Do you think he will lean back and let the football guys be the football guys, or do you think maybe he cannot help himself and will get involved, shall we say?
Yeah, it's a brilliant question. It is an extremely fair question.
Wow, it's like you've been asked that before, Kevin. You were laughing before you could get it out.
Your wheels turning.
We had Jeff Saturday on our radio show 1 hour before Colts head coach back in November. If that's anything that needs to be reminded of, Jim Irsay acting on his own, which I guess when you are the owner, you can do that. I don't know if I'm giving benefit of the doubt here to Jim Irsay. I don't know why I'm saying this. I feel like he has mandated the quarterback selection, but now he's taking a back seat. Because if he was heavily involved, he would hear Peyton Manning talk about Will Levis, and he would demand that Will Levis would be the pick, no questions asked.
Man.
I kind of said it earlier, but, there's nothing on the Jim Irsay or Chris Ballard resume that say they should make this quarterback decision over Shane Steichen. Ballard, I guess, was early on with Mahomes, but, he left in January. They made a big trade-up, and obviously they came here to Indy, and they've played the veteran quarterback route, and that has not worked out. Irsay had Peyton Manning in 98 as 1 overall and Andrew Luck in 2012 as 1 overall. That's a pretty lucky individual to fall into those 2 quarterbacks at number 1 overall. So they need to let Shane Steichen. Now, again, I know that's not what you were asking. I do think Irsay will let those 2 figure it out. Of course, if there's a split decision and the tie goes the owner, then boom, there you go. But I don't think we're getting an Irsay, I'm walking into the war room at 7:58, and this is what we're doing.
How did Chris Ballard survive?
It's a great question. 98% of GMs with that resume would have not survived. I'm a big believer in that if you're going to do it, you kind of clean house, and obviously, you guys are a little bit of an outlier with that. But Yeah, I don't know, to be totally honest with you, because it is the AFC South. Every team in this division, I think, has won it twice, if I'm not mistaken, since the Colts last won it once in 2014. You've chosen to go down the quarterback path that not a lot of teams go down, and it's backfired against you. You know, when you go Band-Aid, when you go short-term, that means you should have better success in those individual years. And you haven't even had that when you have gone down that path. So 7 years in, it's pretty shocking that he is still in that position. But Jim Irsay has been bullish on him dating back to 2017. And, you know, obviously if you're going to let him make this selection, you would think he's going to get at least a couple years at it to see it grow and everything. But, again, a high percentage of NFL GMs would not have made it through this.
All right, last question for me, and this is a little bit off the beaten path, but appropriate for us. If you don't mind me asking, sir, how long have you been there in Indianapolis with the team? Covering?
Covered the team since 2010.
2010. All right, so in your opinion, what has Lucas Oil Stadium done for the city of Indianapolis? And I'm only asking that, obviously, I'm sure you know our news that we just approved a $2 billion stadium with a roof last night here in Nashville. And I know you had a dome there before. I've been to the old RCA/Hoosier Dome there in Indianapolis. But what has the upgrading dome meant for the city from your experience?
Yeah, we could probably talk about it for an hour. I mean, honestly, I think when Colts and Indianapolis fans saw the Nashville news, they probably said, oh, boy, there goes our chance at a second Super Bowl, and there goes our chance at hosting a Final Four like once every 5 years, which seemingly is the current cadence just because there is another Midwest, state-of-the-art facility being built. But, from a Super Bowl in 2012 to constant Final Fours to, this is a really big deal. I don't know how much the casual sports fan knows this, but the U.S. swimming Olympic trials will be coming to Lucas Oil here, I believe, in the next Olympic cycle. That's a pretty big deal. So they've been able to, or they will hold that event. They had the national title game with Bama and Georgia just a couple years ago. I'm sure I'm forgetting many events, but it's been absolutely huge, for the city. And, from a multi-purpose standpoint, of course, the RCA Dome just didn't lend to that extent. It's been absolutely vital. It's right here downtown. I think that is huge as well, just from a proximity standpoint. And I see no reason why, they won't continue to, be attractive to get those events. Now there's just some competition in the market that obviously in Nashville's case, could be a little bit of a challenge for that.
Real quick, did they build a pool? Is that what they're doing? They build a pool inside the dome to have the event, or?
Yeah. No, I believe it's like a temporary pool. I don't quote me on the logistics of that. I think it's like a 10-day sort of ordeal where they build a temporary pool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a temporary pool there inside the dome. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the pictures look wild. But yeah, I mean that's a really big event in the Olympic cycle. So from a middle of the summer. Put, I don't know, let's just say 50,000, I don't know if it's 50,000, let's just say 20,000 fans in your building for 10 straight nights. That's better than leaving it empty.
Wow.
Interesting.
I've never even thought of that.
Yeah, didn't either. Kevin, appreciate the visit. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Thanks for doing this.
You bet, guys, anytime.
All right, that is Kevin Bowen in Indianapolis, 1070. The Fan up there does a morning show, and that was fantastic. It sounds like, when you say quarterback or riot, it's going to be Richardson or
pretty
Levis.
Definitive.
It's pretty definitive, right? So unless you move up to 3, there's another one gone.
Yeah.
Before the Titans pick.
Yeah.
Which is why I did not select a quarterback when I submitted. I really struggled. I mean, there's no secret.
We all did.
Talked about
we all
it.
struggled, yeah.
I didn't know. I talked myself out of the wide receiver position. Well, we can do that on the other side. Let's do that. Let's step away. We'll come back. If you want to join the show, 615-844-5600. More of the McFarland Show next.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's StarLeasing.com to learn more.
Hurry and shop the final days of SpringFest at Lowe's. Right now, get an additional $300 off when you spend $1,996 or more on select major kitchen appliances. And keep your lawn looking fresh with savings on the Ego 15-inch string trimmer. It was $219, now it's $199. Shop SpringFest today because Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 426. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
And now, Epoch Construction is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Visit USO.org to locate military care package and see how you can make a difference today. This message brought to you by Epoch Construction, #1 artisan contractor backed by over 20 years of experience. For outdoor living spaces, roofing, and all exterior work, give the pros a call today at 615-766-5490. That's 615-766-5490. Epoch Construction. They're professionals who care.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
These are on True TV.
If you have Xfinity, just say True TV into your remote. It'll pop right up.
I tell my TV to do things, and it does.
Yeah, well, the things you ask your TV to do, I mean, you know.
Well, ever since I can't get Skinamax anymore.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR. Nashville Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Youth Connect is the show on Monday nights during the 6 o'clock hour. And I do the show with Matt Siegel, who is Matt Siegel. Jeez. Matt Rigsby. Good.
Did you know Matt Siegel? No. There was a Matt Siegel that was the afternoon host here on NSR around like 2012.
I was going to say, that sounds familiar. Okay.
Matt Rigsby, who is the Siegel Boys basketball
So did that name just completely come out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Hey, Coach. Afternoon,
that was
Coach.
impressive.
We had on the Smyrna girls basketball coach, and we had a great conversation with him, and he coached Janae Edmondson, who we all know the story.
Yeah.
Played a district game for Smyrna on a Friday night, and Saturday she was in St. Louis for a volleyball tournament. And the rest is history, unfortunately, where a car slammed into her and she lost both her legs.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing this up is because we just had him on a couple weeks ago, and he was fantastic. And really just painted the picture of what Janae Edmondson is really like, what she's like to coach, and the type of person that she is. I don't know if you saw this today, but she signed with MTSU. Play volleyball at MTSU.
Okay.
I just thought that was a really cool.
That is neat.
Really cool story.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was not under the impression. I thought when we talked to she was going to go somewhere else. I thought it was not MTSU.
No, it was the new school, UT Southern or
yes, that's it.
Like brand new, like
yes,
almost brand new.
Because I was unfamiliar with it.
Yeah, they just got approved.
Didn't they change the name?
Yeah, you're right. There was something else different, but
Yeah.
they've gone through a complete rebrand, and now they've added more, more stuff.
But
Yeah,
something changed where she signed with MTSU today. So that's outstanding.
That's
So
great.
Just wanted to pass that along.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool story.
That's really awesome.
All right. There was a lot of cool things that came out of that Kevin Bowen interview, especially there at the end about Lucas Oil. Or not Lucas Oil.
Yeah, Lucas Oil. Yeah.
Which I've been in.
Mhm.
Going back to, the quarterback discussion, what to do. I decided to go with Paris Johnson. I don't know if he's going to be there at 11. I really don't. Probably won't. But I figured, if he is, it's going to be a hard one to pass on. And Jigba, obviously, we've talked about that through and through. And honestly, I just look, and it's some things that we talked about on this show. When you get down to it, this man is a slot receiver.
He is.
Okay?
He
is a slot receiver.
And I struggle with that, believe me.
And I'm like, you're going to take a slot receiver at 11?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Boy. I'm just really uncomfortable. And a slot receiver at 11 who's been hurt?
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of strikes for the Titans,
But
and I just couldn't do it. I could not do it.
I can make my case, but you continue.
Go ahead.
Listen, my case for Njigba, and trust me, I struggled coming up with this. I looked at the wide receiver room, and the wide receiver room is so void of anything that gives you hope as a fan about what is going to come out of there, that I believe they're almost forced to draft the best wide receiver available because of what's currently in the room and because of what's available to you. You cannot get them in free agency. That much is clear. You're not going to make a blockbuster trade for one. What else can you do? You need wide receiver help. It is painfully obvious. So the only thing you can do is draft them. And you need to draft the best one available. If he's there, draft him. If Zay Flowers is there, draft him. If it's, whoever else, draft him. This is an offensive league. Offensive league. You have got to have firepower on the outside. And it's okay to draft a slot receiver. And this is how I justified it. Because they already have their number one receiver, so they think. They already have Treylon Burks to play the one. So if they have Treylon Burks to play the one, it is okay if you spend the number 11 overall pick in the NFL draft on a slot receiver because you need receiver help that bad. If there was a Band-Aid or something else, if there was somebody hanging out who can do the job adequately for a little while, then sure, let's pass on them. You know the room. What's in there? Who is going to go? We had the fans. You talk about riot when they re-signed re-signed NWI, Nick Westbrook-Akina. When they re-signed him, the fans were very upset. Like, what did they do? Because we all know he's a 4 or 5. Chris Sanders has verified it for us. He's a 4 or 5 guy that was playing at times 2 or 3. He's not a 2 or 3. He's a 4 or 5. They need help. They need help that badly. So, yes, if they got to reach a little bit, go ahead and reach.
I'll tell you who I like. Really, when you think about it, there's been no talk of them taking him. I'll tell you who I really like and people that I talk to because I've started, I've been making my calls.
Sure.
People that I know, tell me what you see. Get your thoughts. Gather your thoughts. But I haven't heard anybody say anything about connecting him to the Titans. But I'll tell you what, people have a lot of good things to say about him. That's Witherspoon.
Okay.
Out of Illinois.
So
because he's got dog in him.
Gotcha.
He's going to be around the ball.
The problem is you already have 2 starter-esque corners at this point. Yes, they're not the best guys of all time. It's no one's mistaking them.
Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to McCready on one side, the rookie from, no longer a rookie, second-year player, and Christian Fulton on the other side.
Okay.
And listen, yes, I know, I get it. But are they as those two players that I just named, Roger McCreary and Christian Fulton, are they as bad as the wide receiver core?
No.
To me, that's why you cannot, for me, that's why, and even though the player you're talking about is a great player, there's no question about it, I can't justify. The wide receiver gap is so bad that I don't know how you pass on anybody you think may be relatively talented at wide receiver because it's going to show up in this offensive league. And that's the biggest thing for me, is getting it through my head that we are no longer ground and pound. We can't keep doing this. They've got to throw the football. They've got to.
Yeah. I get it. I think they'll probably save that position for the second round. I definitely think they're going.
And they can get some guys there.
They're going to draft a wide receiver.
They can get some guys there.
I could not justify in my head a slot receiver at 11 and a guy who's been hurt.
That's fair.
And by the way, soft tissue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like that's like swearing in the Titans facility.
Yeah.
You say the word soft tissue, somebody's probably getting ready to tackle you.
And that means they wouldn't draft Hendon Hooker either then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was ACL.
It's not soft tissue?
Well, I mean,
non-contact?
Well, his was a hamstring.
I mean,
right? He had a lot of hamstring. This is a tearing your ACL. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they look at.
Listen, what was David Long's injury?
Was it ACL?
I thought it was an ACL.
Was it?
And coach called him out right out there on the podium.
No, it wasn't ACL.
What was it? An MCL? What was it then?
It was an ACL.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Let's go to Mike in Melrose. Mike, what's up?
Good afternoon. The school you're referring to in Pulaski used to be Martin Methodist.
Yes,
sir.
That's
yes,
it.
Sir.
Bingo.
Thank you.
I knew a minute I heard it. Yes, it's
yes, sir.
Martin
That
Methodist.
is correct, sir.
Yep.
And their Hall of Fame down there is Chuck Merriweather, the former umpire, and
yes,
also sports writer Larry Woody, who wrote a good book about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been there a long time. But anyway, congrats to the young lady, and best wishes to her going to middle, even though I'm a Tennessee Tech guy. Hey, I understand the whole. I mean, I'm a sports fan. I think it'd be great to have Super Bowls and Final Four. I understand people being against it. I mean, and just with all the other stuff going on in our city, and so I don't have a problem with them. I mean, we knew once it came up, we knew it was going to go through. There was no way it was going to be stopped. It is a better deal than the old stadium. The Titans are actually having to pony up some money, and they're going to be responsible for repairs, I believe.
Yes.
And we'll be able to use it more than just, the Titans pretty much had control of that stadium. It was either them or the TSU or the CMA, and that was pretty much it. So now it's going to be used more year-round. I was at the Garth Brooks. I wasn't on the inside because I usually just kind of hang out on the bridge and watch, which I won't be able to do that anymore. But it's going to be good for the city as a whole. I just hope they do what they're supposed to do as far as using the money to put stuff back into the city and not just put it in the Titans' pockets.
Well, I don't think there's any way to avoid that because with all the stuff that's going to be coming and happening in our city at all times, I mean, again, it's just I cringe, but look, I gave up that fight many, many years ago. Like, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. I mean, it's just so there's no way around it.
I mean, listen, Mike, we just heard about the NCAA, indoor swimming national championship tournament that can be held in these domes. Which blew my mind away. I was like, what are you talking about? But these are the kind of things that could be coming.
They actually had the trials in Omaha, and we're out there for the College World Series. They had the trials out there in their convention center. So, there'll be a ton of stuff. They talked about some huge car auction. So, hopefully it'll put it, I lived in New Orleans one year, and there was something pretty much every weekend at the Superdome.
Yes, sir.
Carnival or some huge convention. I do have an idea. Maybe we'll have a big movie festival, and they'll show older movies, and maybe like Titanic or what else is you haven't seen, Justin? Star Wars. Maybe a chance.
We're saving it for the summer.
Yeah, wait till we get to the sports desert.
We'll get into it during the summer, Mike.
All right. Well, I'm not a big movie guy. I haven't seen Top Gun 2 yet, but I have seen most of the big hits over the years. the crazy thing is when they have those awards, the ones that win it, I've never seen any of those things.
That's a common complaint.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll step away and come back and wrap up the Wednesday edition of the McFarland Show next.
Hey, Nashville, start your day the right way with Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel. Bongo Java is Nashville's oldest local coffee company. Get your day started with a freshly baked muffin and wash it down with a hot cup of dark roast or hair of the dog blend. With free Wi-Fi, you can get some work done while enjoying a toasted breakfast sandwich. Beat the traffic. Treat yourself at Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown Music City.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's April, and you know what that means? Taxes are almost due. Jackson Hewitt can help you win tax season. That's the sound of your maximum tax refund. The sound of getting 50% off tax prep. The sound of many of our competitors' prices going up. And the sound of getting to your nearest Jackson Hewitt. Hurry in for 50% off tax prep before this offer expires April 9th. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
It's a Bill King Show.
If Nick coached another 7-8 years, I would not be shocked at all. I wouldn't be. Now, I'm not predicting it because I don't think you can predict that kind of thing. We don't know that. If he coached to 80, I would not be flabbergasted.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Tomorrow, we will be following Braves baseball. Atlanta and Miami. Marlins Braves first pitch at 11:20. Pregame will begin at 11:05. So coverage beginning right after John and Greg at 11:05.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, how does that awkward 5 minutes work, Adam? From their show.
So Jim Rome starts at directly at 11 a.m. sharp, and then so we just carry 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Yeah, and then we play an ID, and then right at 11:05 we switch.
Oh, he starts right at 11. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Marlins Braves tomorrow. They're going to wrap up that series because then the Braves are going to start a series in New York against the Mets on Friday. So we will be following that show. And if you look at the way these games have been going this year, and I hesitate to bring this up because I don't want to jinx it, but it's going to put it right about where we're supposed to start. So we should be okay for right at a full show or pretty darn close to it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind tomorrow. And then, of course, tomorrow we will be heavy draft talk. We're going to find out if the Grizzlies can keep that series alive tonight. I suspect they will. They're just not going to win the series. I suspect they're going to win tonight. They're going to beat the Lakers tonight. They're going to push it to Game 6, but they're just not going to win the series. They're going to be done one and done.
They've got a chance, but it's tough. But they've got a chance.
A chance at winning the series or winning tonight?
Yeah, to win the series. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they have a chance. Sure.
Yeah.
I just think it's very, 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 very slim.
It's small, but they got a shot.
So you're saying Friday the Lakers close them out? Because that would be the next game is Friday.
Game 6 in Los Angeles.
Yeah. I don't see them getting back to Memphis for Sunday.
I think that's a safe bet to say Friday will be the last Grizzlies broadcast we have.
Probably. I think they're going to win. In fact, I'll go on and say they're winning tonight. Yeah. They're going to win tonight. Yeah. They're going to win at the FedEx Forum. But, yeah, they'll probably lose in L.A. on Friday. I just don't think it's getting back to Memphis for Game 7.
Do you think it's a close game tonight?
Be fun. I'm rooting for Game 7. I'm all about Game 7s.
Be great for the radio.
Yeah, I'm all for it. But I don't know. I don't see it.
So do you think the Grizzlies run away tonight, or do you think it's a close game back and forth? The Grizzlies pull it out at the last second, or do you think the Grizzlies kind of hold command?
I think they're gonna win by 10.
All right.
It'll be a double-digit win tonight.
I'd like to watch that game.
Yeah. Well, you can.
I mean, I'll listen to it too.
You can listen and you can watch. Those options are available.
That'll be enjoyable for me to watch that.
And then tomorrow, by the way, John McClain is going to join us tomorrow. We're going to find out what the Texans are thinking with their pick.
Legendary.
Yes.
Hall of Famer.
The John McClain.
Mm-hmm.
He will join us. In fact, it'll be very early in the show. Probably, it's supposed to be at 2:15. So hopefully the Braves are going to cooperate, take care of business quickly, and we'll have John McClain on at 2:15.
Sounds like fun.
Because I still believe they're taking Stroud. I don't believe all this Will Anderson stuff. I just don't.
Well, if they don't take Stroud, who's the quarterback? What are they doing down there?
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, we can ask John about it.
Yeah.
If they could go roll with Davis Mills one more again?
No, I don't see that. No.
Just saying.
We'll definitely ask John that tomorrow.
Okay.
That is going to do it for us today. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. NHL playoffs tonight, NBA playoffs, NFL draft tomorrow, first round.
Soak it in. The drought's coming.
We will have, hey, no, don't say that stuff, man.
I'm sorry.
We'll have lots to discuss tomorrow. Following Braves Marlins. We'll see you then.